Immature, welcome to the show. How we doing?
Doing good, Rafi. Good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir. Um, so we've known each other for a minute. I know that you moved to Tampa and now you're back in
hmm
Charlotte, right? How was
Yes,
that?
yes.
What, tell me about that.
So post college, I decided I was going to get a job, of course, because DJing's not paying the bills yet. And so I was like, you know, what? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And it was like the exact same job. Just one was in Tampa and one was in Columbia. And I was like,
Mm.
I've lived in Columbia for 4 years. I need a change. So packed everything up, moved down to Florida, and then just didn't really have the best experience down there. And I don't get me wrong, Tampa is amazing. I loved it. But, being from the Carolinas, growing up here, starting my roots as a DJ and a musician here, and then picking all that up and going to Florida, like halfway through, I was kind of like, why did I do that? All my connections were back in North and South Carolina. Why did I restart? This was so hard to, get legs moving, and now I got to go back and do it all again. No. So I was like, it's time to head back home, and so quit my job there. And then the week I quit my job there, I got 4 gigs up in Charlotte. So it was like, you want a sign? There's my sign. So quit my job, got a new job up here, and yeah, I've been here for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I
Loving it.
remember you telling me when you moved, like the momentum that just came back immediately.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
which is crazy. And like you said, it's a sign. When you were in Tampa, were you able to like check out the scene at all? Did you play any gigs, anything like that?
So I did not play any gigs, which is a big regret of mine. I kind of went down there wanting to do that, but I will say the scene is insane.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter whether you're looking for like, dubstep or house, techno, like hard style. They literally have everything down there. I actually went to St. Pete multitude of times, and there's just like getting little text messages from Privé, like we got this show going on, we got this show. I'm like, it was constant. So definitely a great scene down there. Checked out Breakaway Tampa. That was tons of fun.
Nice.
It was the first non-Carolina breakaway I'd been to, so it's cool to like explore that.
Yeah, how was Tampa? How did it, or Breakaway Tampa specifically, how did that compare to like the Carolina breakaways?
So it felt so different because they have theirs like right on the field where you park for the Bucks games. And
Mm.
so like, you're looking at this massive stage, and then just to the left of it, it just says like welcome crew. And it's like all like pirates and like Buccaneers themed. It almost felt like an extension of Gasparilla, like in
That's
some kind
sick.
of way, which is like their big pirate festival. So yeah, the silent disco was weird though. It was like all the way tucked like the far back corner. Versus like
Interesting.
Carolina, you walk in and you kind of walk past it to get to main stage.
Yeah.
Like I had to go hunt for it in Tampa, and I was like, oh,
I
that's
I
kind of
kind of
tucked.
I felt the same about Breakaway Atlanta. Like it was cool, it was a great festival, but like the layout was a little weird.
Yeah,
And they just announced the lineup today for this
I
year's
saw
Breakaway
that.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think they're moving the main stage like inside because last year it was like all on the parking lot kind of thing.
hmm
So we'll see. Maybe they'll switch it up a little bit.
Where is
Um,
it in Atlanta?
it's at the old um Turner Field where the Braves used to play
Yes. Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they moved to
Yeah.
Truist.
Okay.
So it's cool, but they did it in like I guess you'd call it like the area before you get into the stadium. So like the fan zone kind of thing. So you would
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
in through the gates and it's right there. Um
Sick.
it was really cool setup. It was just like weird to find everything. Like I had to kind of hunt around, like you said. Which I mean,
Yeah.
you're working with what you got, I guess. But it was cool. I was happy to be a part of it, being living in Atlanta and it being the first year. I was just happy to be there. It was cool.
Yeah. See, being in Charlotte, that's one of the markets I want to try and crack into. Like I saw the other day they posted the disco for Tampa. I'm like, where's
Mm.
Atlanta? Like I want to get involved in that. That's only 3 hours away. Like,
Yeah,
I know people. Let me just drive down.
dude, I'll help you out. I'm happy to get you, throw your name in the ring, get you some contacts for sure.
Throw me in the
Um,
ring. I'll jump
so
through
okay,
hoops.
yeah. So, how did you, from being in Colombia, how did you get started with
Mhm.
DJing? Were you doing like college gigs? Because I know the USC scene is big on that, like frats and
Oh yeah.
the bars downtown.
Oh yeah. So like you want the full story or like
Yeah, let's
just
go.
from college? All right, so it's 2026, so this seems fitting. The year was 2016,
Okay.
and I was at the beach with a couple of my friends, and one of them was talking to me about like the chain smokers. And at this point in my life, like I had listened to Skrillex and Dead Mouse growing up, kind of phased out of it, followed the crowd and did all the rap music. And then 2016, Marshmello was starting to come out with stuff. And so they were talking to me about the chain smokers. And I was like, no, like I've heard their songs on the radio. Like, they're not at all what I'm interested in. And then they showed me a video of them at Ultra. And I went, wait, you can make songs like this and then go do that. Okay, I want to do that. Whatever that is, I need to do it. So COVID year 2020, I got my first little DDJ 400. Spent all of COVID just learning how to mix and how to just do James Hype transition on YouTube. And over summer, I got a text from a guy that was like, we're bringing a chapter of Alpha Sig to the University of South Carolina. Would you be interested in starting? And I was like, no, not really. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny frat. It's not going to be big. I want to go one of these big guys. I want to go where all the stages are and everything. And then kind of clicked in me. Well, if you're starting a frat, it means you don't have a DJ, which means I don't have to compete with five or six other guys trying to do this. They're all seniors. They have their seniority, and I'm going to be a pledge. I don't want to compete for that. So I was like, why don't I just build something from the start? And so that's what we kind of did with Alpha Sig was we started doing different type of events. I'd bring a little bass and dubstep in, and that was a hot topic for my chapter. They can neither confirm nor deny that they did enjoy that. But yeah, and then just kept working my way up. Hidden City came, and I met Name Unknown and Joe and Austin, some great guys, and they texted me like 5 months after we met and said, "What are you doing this summer? And are you 21?" And I was like, "I'm free, and yes, I am 21." And they were like, "Great, open for us at Bond in July." And so that was like the first actual club performance, not like a college bar and I got to play top 40. Like it was rip whatever you want, and it's going to be great. So that was the first time I had name and lights and everything.
That's
So yeah, that was
awesome.
about junior year.
I love Bond. Bond is sick. I
They're
remember
closing down.
what? I didn't hear that. That's new
Yeah, I saw
information.
it on their Instagram. It said only 4 Saturdays left to party at Bonds. So I like reached
No,
out. They were like, Bonds
dude,
closing. I'm like, why?
that's
Why?
it's always popping. Whenever I've been there, like they haven't had a slow night.
Literally. Like I looked, but last time I was there was Halloween. And I'm
Yeah,
looking back on that going like, I DJ every set like it's the last one I'll ever get to play. Cause you
yeah.
never know in this day and age. And I'm like, you know what? That was a good set. I'm gonna remember that very fondly. It was fun.
I love that mindset of like going into it as like who knows when I'll be able to do this again. So like be in the moment and enjoy it. That's huge.
Yeah, especially after college, because
Yeah,
like I said, with starting the frat, I was the only DJ, and so every Saturday it was frat lots. Everyone knew who was going to be up there. It was always
yeah,
going to be me. And then I graduated, and I went, "This isn't guaranteed anymore. Like
yeah.
this is where I got to start putting a lot of work in to sell myself and get these gigs."
I feel
So
that kind of reach that next level too.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so when you played Bond, was it always upstairs? Like the little
Oh
balcony?
yeah,
Like
oh yeah.
so there was one night or it might have been one or two nights when they were remodeling the upstairs. So they had me DJ on the floor. Like
What?
it was sick. It was like a
When was
360 set.
this?
Um it would have been maybe like last year or the year before. It was like a
Oh, so while I was in Tampa the whole time.
probably yeah. But like it was sick because like it was a 360 set at Bond, and like for those of you that don't know Bond, you DJ from the balcony on the upstairs in
Yeah.
like the VIP, and then everybody's kind of below you, which is cool. But I like being close to everybody. I feel a lot
Hmm.
more connection with the crowd that way, and like it's still fun being up there and like seeing like over everybody, but it's just a very different vibe, you know. Um,
Yeah. I
you
totally get that.
yeah, you mentioned Name Unknown.
Hmm.
So you got close with them because I know you've opened with them a lot. Like I've seen you in Clemson. I've
Hmm.
seen you open with them at Bond, Trio recently.
Yeah.
So how's that been going?
So that started, it was junior year. I was getting involved with Hidden City, and I'm up at Rooftop in Columbia, down in downtown Five Points. For those of you that don't know, it's like the club of Columbia. Everything else is a dive bar. And this place has lights.
Yeah.
So, um, so it's a Hidden City sponsored event, and one of my buddies, his name's Tony, he goes by Tony Chu. He is running the event for all the Hidden City interns, and so we're all up there, and I just happen to see his guy to my right, and I'm like, this guy kind of looks familiar, and I'm like, yo, are you name unknown? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, dope. I'm Cam. Nice to meet you. Like, you DJ'd for my frat like 2 weeks ago when I wasn't here and couldn't make the show. And he was like, oh, cool, cool. Nice to meet you. So that was like the intro night of meeting them. 5, 6 months later, that I get the text about Bond in July. So now I'm doing the first show with them, and it's been what, 3 years now, and it's just been like, they call me their favorite little opener because whenever they need a guy, I'm the guy. So it's great. It's great. I love the guys. They're super chill. They're awesome, fun to be around, and they always throw parties. So
That's
yeah.
a good spot to be in though, like because not only do you have a good couple of friends there and a good connection, but like you kind of help each other out. You know what I mean? Like if
Hmm.
they need an opener, you can fill that slot, but also you're getting opportunities to play at places that maybe you wouldn't have been able to by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent for that, for like community and helping each other out because it's a lot easier done as a team than by yourself.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I always joke with them, like, Knock 2 and ISO. I'm like, these two dudes are very, very similar sounding guys that both came up at the exact same time. I'm like, that's gonna be us. I'm just playing catch up, but once I get to y'all's level, that's gonna be us, and we're gonna take it to the next level together. We're all trying to accomplish the same goal. Why are we not trying to help each other out on the way?
Right. The speaking of that, so the Hidden City Festival is coming back this year. The
Yes, it
lineup should be
is.
dropping soon. How was that experience for you? You played the second one, correct? Second time around?
Mm,
Or did you do both?
third one. It was
Third
third.
one. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because so I didn't do the second one. That was actually the year I met Joe,
Okay.
because about a week after I met Joe, I broke my ankle.
Oh, what happened there?
So I was playing sorority flag football. We're getting the shit
Let's
kicked out of
go.
us, or we got the shit kicked out of us all year. This is our last game, and we're now up 40. And so me being a little dickhead gets thrown the ball, I catch it, and I'm like, I'm gonna return this, for a pick six. You guys are, we're beating you so bad, I'm just gonna rub it in. So I take 2 steps, snap my ankle, and fall straight to the ground. Nobody
No.
touches me. I'm like, all
Oh
right,
man.
well, that's my karma.
That's like
Instant
a
karma.
bigger disappointment than the Bears game, dude.
Literally, dude. Who was he even throwing to? Like, just
Yeah.
you can't, you can't. Oh man.
I thought they had it too, man. When they went into overtime, I was like, this is, it's like
Literally,
they
like you end the game on that like wicked 40-yard pass that started from the 5 yard line, and then you end with throwing it 20 yards over somebody's head straight to the defense. Like, what are you doing?
sucks.
The
Like
duality of Caleb Williams.
usually in football, I don't really root for many teams. I just kind of watch it passively, like I don't have like a favorite team or anything. But I have some family in Chicago, so like I was like, oh, I can kind of like relate to this. Like I feel, somewhat
Yeah.
connected. Then they blew it.
See, I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a huge fan. I call myself a Tampa fan, which is ironic
Mm.
because I lived in the Carolinas for 22 years, but it took me less than 2 months of living in Tampa to become a lifelong Buccaneers fan. But
Yeah,
like, I got a lot of frat guys from Chicago. And
yeah,
so, solely for their glory, I want them to win.
right.
It's like my roommate was a Bills fan, and I just, my heart breaks for him this year.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was
when are
tough
you guys
too.
going to give your shot?
Yeah. So Hidden City was good then?
So, yeah, back to Hidden City.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun. Did the silent disco, and was hanging out backstage. fun fact about that, I was the actual last person to go B2B with pickup lines before
Let's
pickup
go.
lines split
Yep.
and Brad became Brad Easy and did his own
Yep.
thing. So that's my little claim to fame with pickup lines. I was the last B2B.
Yeah, Brad's blowing up now too, just like
He
solo. Nothing
is.
against pickup lines, but he's like really pushing it, which is cool.
He
I
is.
know I think it was the weekend of Hidden City. It might have been the day before. They played at Study Hall and I opened for them
Yes.
and then ran lights afterward. So
Oh,
like
sick,
it
dude.
was fun, yeah. I did that for Shipwreck as well when they were there. Um, but yeah, it's was that the year with Shaq at Hidden City?
That was the year with Shaq. I
Dude,
actually
that was
fist bumped Shaq
let's
as close as
go.
I got to him.
I was trying to meet him. I couldn't get backstage for whatever reason. It was like I was being pulled in like a million different directions that day. I'm not sure what
Oh
was
yeah.
going on, but it's how it goes.
See, I knew a couple boys backstage, and so it was me and my
Yeah.
videographer, and we just get, we get tossed backstage passes, and so we're hanging out,
Mm,
and then it's like A Craze is coming out, and they're like, all right, you got to leave, and then they looked around and went, it's just y'all two? Okay, here's the full wristband. Take these. You guys
nice.
can stay. And so
Nice.
I'm standing there and I'm watching Shaq with his bodyguards that are the size of Shaq. I don't know how you find that many people that big, but they're walking him to the stage, and I'm with Joe of Name Unknown, his wife, and I was like, I'm gonna go say what's up to Shaq. And she was like, Kim, no, don't do that. Are you crazy? They're gonna like suplex you. I'm like, I'm gonna go say what's up to Shaq. And so I'm like running over there and I give a little like, good luck, Diesel. And he's like, thank you, brother. And he just fist bumps me. And that's it. But I have my camera being stupid. Instead of facing the interaction, I had it facing me, which I shouldn't have brought my camera
No.
anyway. It would have ruined the moment. But in the video, you can hear him go, appreciate it, brother. So I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
That's a good impression, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. I worked hard on
Um,
that.
I remember I did main stage that year, but then as soon as I played like
Yes, you
early in the
did.
day, yeah, it was fun. But I played early in the day, so like whenever I like left the backstage area after playing and it filled in, I was like, "There's no way I'm getting back there again." Like I had the
Yeah.
wristband, but I was like, "There's no chance. It's fine."
Oh, see, call me a bad friend or whatever, but I literally texted my group of like 7 people out in the crowd and just said, yeah, I'm hanging next to pickup lines right now. I'm not coming back out. I'm gonna stay back here. And ironically, they were all like, that's so valid. You do whatever you need to do. I'm like, thanks, guys. I'm not coming back.
It that was fun, and then I did an after party afterward. I forget which one it was. What's the bar
Was
next to
it
Rooftop?
yeah.
It's like 3 stories.
It used to be Cotton Gin,
Yes.
but now it's the heavy metal place.
Yes. Oh, I have a
But they had
story
they
about
had they
that.
they had 3 separate rooms though that night.
Yes. I
Yeah.
remember being on the top floor,
New
uh,
Brooklyn Tavern.
New Brooklyn Tavern,
There
shout
it
out. That's
is.
the one. Um, so they have that building, and then they have a secondary like bar next door that doesn't serve alcohol. It's just like an event space. So they have a stage with like some cans, some fluorescents. Um,
Interesting. Is this like
but
to the
like
left in that alleyway?
if you're looking at the bar, it's to the right, I believe. But then
Oh, interesting.
so
Okay, go ahead.
if you want alcohol, you got to go back into NBT and then go back to the show you're watching. Anyway, um, somebody called me one day and asked me for a favor. There was a SpongeBob rave, and they said, "Would you be willing to DJ the SpongeBob rave
Oh my God.
in
Did you do
Colombia?"
it?
I sure did. And
Yes,
well, here's the
yes.
thing. Here's the thing. I had no information going in. He gave me a Dropbox folder with a bunch of like SpongeBob edits, and it was like a
Oh my
knock
God.
to like instrumental with like SpongeBob talking over it or like whatever, just all these different SpongeBob edits. So I was like, this will be interesting. I get there. I got there like relatively early. Um, and there it was in that like side venue, right? So I
Hmm.
thought it was an NBT. It wasn't. It was next door. And
Okay.
the manager texts me and he's like, "Hey, we have a band tonight. So just like it's gonna run a little bit later than expected, but we'll have you on after this band." It was and I might get the order wrong, but it was an emo band, a metal band, a dude like doing poetry, and then
Like slam poetry?
yeah, 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 and then SpongeBob rave.
Oh
And
my God.
the SpongeBob rave was a ticketed event, but everybody who was already in the venue for the metal bands could stay because they were already in there. So all the bands leave. I set up, and it's like, "Are you ready, kids?" And all the like goth kids that were there for the metal bands are just looking around like, "What is this?" And I was
What in
like,
the world?
"Yeah." Needless to say, that was an interesting night.
How did it go?
It was fine, I guess. I mean, for what it was, like I don't know. It
Yeah.
was they have the lighting setup there was like four cans like on each like along a truss. I
Yeah.
don't remember them changing colors or like strobing or anything. They were just set on like one setting.
You were
So
just
yeah,
there.
yeah. So like it was fine. You know, it wasn't the lights at Rooftop, you know, but like no
Yeah, no
shade
kidding.
to New Brooklyn Tavern. Rooftop just has a ton of stuff going on. It's like sensory
Yeah.
overload.
Honestly, this is my personal opinion. I think they need to turn the lights and rooftop down. Like,
Well,
it's just it's almost too much. Like you gotta bring the darkness in.
I would so I've done lighting for clubs and like we sell them software and stuff and I've talked to Rooftop about it because like you could leave everything as it is, but like section it off where like certain lights are on at a time and kind of make it like a
Hmm.
show more than just having everything full on all the time. Yeah,
Going crazy.
yeah, it would make it different. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. You know how these places are run. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
from a DJ perspective, like just seeing stuff, you're like this could be improved. This could be improved. But I don't know. It's just one of those things.
It's not my monkey, not my circus.
Exactly.
I just get paid
So
to show up.
yeah. So how are you liking Charlotte? All good?
Oh, I'm loving it, dude. I'm absolutely loving it. I've already, like I said, like you mentioned earlier, I moved here December 26th. Pod was unloaded December 27th. And then I played Trio January 2nd. Like
I
the
saw
vibes were coming in like immediately, full swing.
like it's meant to be, dude. That's awesome.
You want a
Um
sign?
and
Here's the
I saw,
sign.
yeah, I saw the videos from Trio. It looked crazy because you guys were on the
Yeah.
floor, right? There was a 360 set. Is that right?
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
a 360 set and it was still packed. I actually ended up going for 2 hours. I
let's
went
go.
from doors until 11. So I was like, I'm gonna rip. You guys are giving me 2 hours. I'm gonna rip. And I'm still waiting on the video from my videographer. Stay tuned. I'm going to have the full 2 hour set posted eventually. But he did send me like a few clips and I was like texting him, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And he's like, yeah, but the first 30 minutes, it's kind of empty. Like there's not a lot of people there. I'm like, no, that's the beautiful part of it. Cause you just watch it go from a dead room to shoulder packed by the end of it. Like that's
Yeah.
the evolution. It's going to be great.
And like as an opener, that gives you a lot of credit too, that you can like keep a room and kind of let it fill up. You know how to read the room as the night's getting started to like getting busy. You know that because that's an art in
Exactly.
itself as well, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I used to do for college. I remember my first set ever was a Halloween set. And I had like, built out a little set list that I was going to do. And I mean, I was in this backyard in like ghetto Colombia, and I'm ripping like Tomorrowland, like techno.
Let's
And they
go.
were like, I don't think this is the vibe for that. But I was like, I don't know. And then the next set, I did the same thing, and like everybody left the room. So I was like, oh, I gotta start picking songs on the fly. And I remember the end of that night going, man, I just DJ'd for like 6 hours at this party and I had to pick every single song one by one individually. Like I was going on the fly the whole time. That's so cool. And then like 2 minutes later, I sat back and went, no, no, that's what DJing is. That's not really an accomplishment. I'm just doing the task. Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
So most of the times now, unless it's like a big festival or something, I am just going on the fly, crowd reading the whole time.
Yeah, I find that even like for the festival sets, it's I still do some prep where I'm like, I know I want to play these songs, but the order might
Hmm.
not be the same. So it's still kind of like playing on the fly a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
it's
yeah, oh yeah.
there's still a little bit of that. Um, yeah, like
I mean,
I
if
don't
I
know. I
don't think I'm gonna go that hard, and then on song one the crowd is breaking the rail down, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do a lot more of this. Like,
yeah,
screw the John Summit section. We're just gonna go straight to Shaq. Like, keep it
that's
going.
that's how it was for me when I did Breakaway Carolina this past year, the like silent
Hmm.
disco, because I was the last slot, right? And I was like, oh, this is either gonna be like pretty good, like people are still gonna be there, or it's gonna be just completely empty because people have gone to go see the headliner. It was
Yeah.
busy, and I dropped one uh like 140 dubstep track. People started
Hmm.
headbanging on the rail. I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I just kept it going when like that wasn't the plan for the set, but it was like
Yeah,
it worked, you know?
it worked. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Man,
I
I'm
was
excited to hear. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say I was like 4 hours before you.
Yes.
I was at like 3 or 4 o'clock, and flashback to Joe. He just comes barreling up on stage, and he's like, "Here, here, here," and he takes my headset and he plugs it into the back of the mixer, into the mic input, and then says, "Scream into the cuff." It works as a microphone. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay. And so I sat there and I was like, if you're listening to channel two, like put your hands in the air. And the whole silent disco did that. And
Let's
I
go.
posted a video of it. And like one of the guys that was on stage with me was like, it was a pleasure sharing the stage with you. I was like, I don't know if that's a dig or if that's a compliment or if like what that means. Cause like
I take
literally
it as a
every hand
compliment.
did that. So I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, you know?
That's like I feel bad when the silent disco is like three channels like that because normally one channel gets superiority because they'll have like
Yep.
a little pocket and then everybody else is like, oh, what's going on that channel? And then by the end of the set, everybody's on that channel because it was like the same thing. I mean, it feels great. Like on when I played it, I think it was like 9 o'clock or 9:30. I was on blue channel. Everybody was blue, and I took a picture because it's
Yeah.
nighttime, so like you can
Oh,
see
you
like
can
the
see it.
lights and it was just all like a sea of blue. And I was like, man, that's awesome. But you got to think like you have two other guys up there with you, you know, like
Yeah, like
and I'm like, sorry guys, like I don't know what to tell you. But it was
and see,
cool.
that's why I didn't know if that was a compliment or like a dig, because I'm like, everybody's listening to me, ha ha ha, and he's like, oh, it's a pleasure. I'm like, is it though?
Do you mean
Do you
that?
mean that?
Well, I'm
But
excited for you to drop that trio set because the last like full set I saw from you, I think was when we did the bass versus techno thing at
yes,
where was that?
that was at
Uh
Q at Black Box.
Q. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Um because before that I saw you open for Name Unknown at or I think Rabbit Hole, right? It was it Rabbit
was it
Hole
Rabbit?
or I can't remember.
Rabbit Hole was the breakaway afters.
Yes, yeah, no, it was I think was that the night where it was you, Magma, Name Unknown? Or
Yes, yes,
yes,
that
yeah,
is the
yeah,
exact order.
yes. I remember these things. See, that's the one
Yeah,
thing about
shout out
being
Austin
sober.
Magma, great guy.
Yes. Dude, he's sick. His tracks are crazy.
For
Um,
real.
but like being sober, I have a good memory of these things. I'm like the one guy that can like remember, what song he
Yeah.
played at 9:45 exactly. Um,
And
but
it comes in handy when I text you and say, what was that dash star edit? And 3 days later I get a dash star edit. I'm like, that was it. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
I got you, dude. Um, but no, I
True
think
story.
yeah, I came in like halfway through your set and it was crazy, but I was like, I need to hear the full thing. And I'm sure
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but like when I'm playing sets, I feel like my last set is my best one. Like they keep getting better,
Oh
like I
yeah,
keep improving.
100%.
So I'm excited for that trio set, dude, because I know you killed it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get it back out. He did multicam for me this time. So I got one that was attached to the side that's getting like the side angle. And then he had one tripod up on the stage looking at my back, and then one tripod at the front looking down on like both angles. Um front and back of the 360. So
Nice.
he's meshing all of those together, which of course takes time, but he's great. Shout out Bright Bell. Love that guy.
Shut up. Yeah, one thing I want to do this year is get some kind of a multicam thing because I'm gigging every
Hmm.
weekend and I want to get sets out on YouTube. And if there was some way to like do a high quality like multicam without breaking the bank, I got one of those.
It
Those are
works. It
sick.
works.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out because camera stuff is so expensive. Like I know
Oh
we
yeah.
complain about DJ equipment, but like camera stuff is crazy.
Yeah. I flashback to 2016. What got me into DJing was partly, doing like the Jay Alvarez and that one blonde kid and all those guys doing those videos.
Yep.
And I originally wanted to be a videographer at first, and then I stopped because I was like, well, I want to make the video or the music in the video. So then I started doing that. But it was like at the time I didn't realize it, but there was no right path. I mean, I'm spending thousands of dollars whichever way I pick.
Right. It's everything's so expensive. I mean, and that's one thing
Yeah.
that I've been learning is kind of because there's so many things that I want to do, but you got to make it sustainable because I want to do this for as long as I possibly can. So instead of
Hmm.
just like blowing all my money on something like because I'm like excited to do it, I'm kind of taking a step back and being like, what's the smart way of doing this? And like getting a return on my investments and like thinking about it as a business, as much as I just want to
Hmm.
like create and make art and do like fun sets, like at some point you gotta like think about it smart so you can do it for longer.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that's why I'm immature, is because I'm just like, ooh, shiny gadget in the cart. Ooh, shiny gadget in the cart. And I look at my credit card bill every month like, ugh,
Yeah,
which
oop.
one of these can go back? Which one of these can I return?
No, yeah, that's it's so funny. Like I'm gonna start doing these SoundCloud mixes. Uh
Hmm.
and I have like an AZ that I bring. I used to have like four CDJs and an A9. I sold those because they were just like collecting dust. And plus like all the gigs yeah, yep. You get it. But like all the gigs that I play, all the equipment's already there. Like, going to
Hmm.
Trio, going to like Study Hall, Bond, everybody has their own
Yep.
setup. You just come in, plug in, you're good to go. So I was like, why am I keeping these CDJs, unless I plan to like throw my own parties or like open a nightclub or something like that. I don't really need these sitting here. But I did buy an FLX4 recently. It's about this big, it
Yep.
fits on my desk and I can just do like
Perfect.
I can do a quick little mix, it's got everything I need and then just post it on SoundCloud. You know what I mean? Like
There you
super
go.
simple.
KISS
It gets the
principle.
job
Keep it
done.
simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
just my phone, like the charging port on it
mm,
doesn't like it when I plug things into it. So like I have magnet chargers and like magnetic stands and all that. And
yeah.
so I can't plug in to the A9 and just record on my app on my phone. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how often am I going to bring my laptop to Trio and just, hey guys, let me set this up over in the corner here to record? No, I'm not going to do that. And then I got to put it in control mode. So I just ordered a little Zoom
Mm,
XLR recording device, fancy gadget in the
yep.
cart. And
Yep.
so I just bought that I'm going to start recording stuff on. So that should be here next week. And once that comes in, I'm like, I'm going to start rolling it out. And I've already thought of the name. Like you remember the that's what I call music,
Yes.
like volumes. Mine are gonna be like that's so immature, volume one,
I
and
love
that's
that.
so immature, volume two. And I'm just gonna see how that goes with the naming of that and see if it catches on.
That's good branding.
Thank
So,
you, thank you.
I mean, yeah, like so I have one of the like I have a Zoom that I honestly never used, but I recently got this like it's about this big. It's a small little cube, and it has an RCA, like a red and a white cable, that plugs into the
Hmm.
record out of the mixer, and then you hit a
Yep,
button on it, and it has an SD card. So you can record onto
yep.
that, and then you just take the SD card out, plug it in your laptop, and you have your set right there. Same thing,
That's essentially what
but
this little Zoom is. Yeah.
yeah. Um, man, so okay. What do you think of all the sets you've done? Because we haven't talked about Sippy yet. You opened for Sippy. Um,
Yes.
What's your favorite set been so far? I know that's a loaded question, but I'm throwing it on you.
Beat the dead horse here, trio. I mean, there's just something else about it. No, so Sippy was a ton of fun.
Mhm,
The Greenville show I did like better than Charleston, and that was for one reason and one reason only. Was Charleston, we did it in this massive warehouse. It's
mhm,
Building 64 in North Charleston, for those that are familiar. And it is literally a giant warehouse. I mean, they got fans this big blowing on us. And I was just standing up there. And with all the lights and everything, I was like dripping. Like I just jumped out of a pool type dripping sweat the whole time. But it was tons of fun. What I did not realize was like when I did the Greenville show, I went kind of mid and then started going like really, really heavy into like some
mhm.
rhythm and like quarter note dubstep. And so I was like, oh, you guys like this. Okay, I'll keep playing more of this. Back to the crowd reading. And so I'm like, all right, well, they seem to enjoy that in Greenville. I'm going to go do that in Charleston. And it didn't hit quite as well.
Mm,
And so, like, I started out heavier, the opposite of Greenville. And then towards the end of my Charleston set, started like going a lot more tape B, kind of wubby,
mhm.
deep deep dub type music, and people started liking that more. And my buddy was like, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Charleston is a lot more of a wubby crowd. I was like, oh great, thanks. I could have used that an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. It's
But
interesting how each area has its own little uniqueness. You know what I mean? Like they
mhm.
like you said, Wobby stuff in Charleston versus like heavier stuff in maybe like Charlotte or Greenville. It's weird how they all have that kind of like I don't know, a different vibe to them.
Yeah, I remember seeing a TikTok that Zed did, not Zed's dead.
Mhm.
Zed did, and it was like talking about different countries, and this country is the loudest, this country sings the best, and then he got to the U.S. and he went, every city in the U.S. is like playing a different country. Like they're all so unique to their own whatever they want to do and however they do it, and their dress and their fanfare, all of it's different, everything.
That's a great point. I like for me, I've been to Charleston a couple times and it was both for high tide. Um
Mhm.
and so I've only known Charleston as like a house kind of scene. I didn't even know they were into
Yeah,
like wubbier stuff.
yeah, yeah. They had Hidden City there, and then just recently, because Notlo and Mercury, shout
Mhm.
out Notlo Mercury, they were on the Hidden City Sippy tour with me. Um, they actually did a show again at Building 64 like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And same kind of deal. It was all like, heavy dubstep stuff. And it popped off again. So like I didn't know Charleston was that big. But
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't know South Carolina was that big. And now we got Hidden City. And at one point in time there was Voyage, and now there's Breakaway, and now Tate B and Levity are doing their tour this summer and they're coming
Yeah.
to Charlotte. I'm like, Charlotte is growing. The Carolinas are here. Like, welcome.
100%. I just saw Tape B the other day in Atlanta and I was sick. And
Yeah.
then Levity's coming here in March and I've seen videos of that show online. It also looks insane.
Oh yeah. And then they got open air in
Yeah.
at Black Box. That's the weekend
Mm,
after Hidden City, and that's Crank That and Woolly. So I'm like,
dude. I'm pretty sure
it's
I'm
just
booked.
banger
I
after
want,
banger.
yeah. So one thing that I wanted to do this year is go to more shows, just like when I'm not playing. But it's
Yeah.
so hard to find a night where it's like, okay, I can drive to Charlotte this night, but then I have to be back in like Atlanta like at this time to do this. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
But like
It's life
I'm
on the
trying
road.
I'm trying to make the time. Like I know I'm coming to see you in February. Was it the first weekend in February, I think,
Yep. February
at
7th.
is it Rabbit Hole again?
Rabbit Hole
Yeah,
opening for Furva and Eero 808.
that's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
so
pumped for that
excited.
one. Gonna
Um,
record that set too.
oh, let's go. I love that,
With the
man. I gotta start
multicam and
doing that.
everything.
Let's go.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so okay, back to kind of your journey. So you start
Hmm.
DJing, Name Unknown kind of brings you along. You're opening for
Hmm.
them. You start getting these like bigger support gigs. Where where are we at now? Is that kind of like where you're at, and then where do you want to move forward? Like, what's the plan?
So right now, and this is why I'm so focused on building my portfolio and recording sets, especially
Mm,
both just recording sets and then actually visually recording them with like the multicam and everything, is I'm really trying to build up the EPK because I'm at a point where I'm now reaching out on my own to different production companies where, oh, I see, just example, easy name, Crank That. Crank That's coming to Charlotte in 3 months. I want to
mm,
open for Crank That. What do I need to do to open for Crank That? And, I'm sending the SoundCloud, I'm sending, some different reels and videos that like, I've had in the past. And the last question, which is the one that always stalls me, is do you have any sets recorded that we could listen to? And because of this, I hate Apple, because of this stupid little Apple thing on my phone, I have no sets recorded,
yeah,
which by no means is an excuse, but you know, definitely hasn't helped when I've like made it 45 minutes to an hour into a set and I look down and it hasn't been recording the entire time.
right.
Um, so I'm really just trying to build out the EPK. I wiped my whole Instagram clean like three
I
weeks
saw that.
ago
I
to
saw that.
wrap up the year. I'm like, it's time for a change because at that time I was like, I was making a song and then halfway through making it, I was posting the teasers of it.
Mm,
And then I'm finishing it while I'm posting the teasers. The song is now released. I'm posting release videos. And while I'm posting release videos, I'm making the next song. And that just wasn't sustainable after
mm,
about month three. Cause then
yeah,
I just started burning out because I was like, A, people are tired of seeing this. It's the same video for 4 weeks straight.
yeah,
People are not interested. And understanding, reels, and that goes to your followers first versus TikTok, where it's pushed to everybody else first. It's like I just need to just take a break, build up a bit of catalog, get my EPK down, record some sets, and then reignite the push with full brand, full theme, and just go straight. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Is just ramping up.
yeah. I like that. We're gonna talk about production in a second, but I think on the marketing and like social media point, I've been trying to find it like so I'm really good about running ads with my music. That's like no problem. I can get my music out there, but I'm trying
Hmm.
to find a good way to promote the music on Instagram organically, like either making videos that aren't like this song's out now or like you were saying, people
Yep.
getting sick of like the posting something 4 weeks out like a song is coming like type thing. I'm trying to think of like
Yeah.
creative ways to do it. So that's kind of like one roadblock that I'm at. Because like it or not, that's kind of the game right now is just getting your stuff out there on social media and like it is what it is. Like I mean, we didn't sign up to be content creators. Obviously, we want to do music, but it's just part of it right now. And so I don't know. One thing that's been working for me is if you can get those like gig videos and like the multicam things,
Hmm.
that's a great way to get stuff out there because not only are you sharing music, but you're also sharing like the vibe that you bring and like
Yep.
you in the club and showing that you have that kind of relevance to be there. But it's tough like promoting a song. That's a whole different thing.
I mean, I did multicam in one of my promo videos. It was I think it was the System Odd Mob
Mm.
remix that I did, and I don't know what made it pop off. If it was the fact that it was multicam, or it was the fact that I was in a button-down shirt, khakis, tucked in with a belt, like I had just left the 9 to 5, and people clicked with that. But I literally used this little camera,
Mhm.
and then I have another little stand, and I got my phone, I got an iPad that I set in front of me, like doing this, camera angle that we have going on right now.
Yeah.
And I had a phone over top looking down at the board, and I had a phone coming in from the side that was like zooming in. And so I did multicam for a 20-second promo video
Yeah.
because it's like the attention span. Like that's why they're doing so many multicams is because it's
Yeah.
constantly switching angles. That's constantly looping back in your attention span. So I'm like, is this what it takes now? Like even the
Yeah.
little tiny videos got to be multicam, like not just the oh I'm at
Dude.
Club Space multicam.
Yeah, like
Like,
it's getting out of hand, I think, a little bit. Like it's,
Yeah.
at what point is is it gonna tip the other way? I feel like we're gonna go from like things being super intricate to there being just like super simple, like authentic videos, like just I don't know
Yeah.
if it's talking to the camera or like whatever it is, but like an artist being an artist and just like, being themselves versus like having to not showboat or like show off, but like you know what I mean. It's
Flex your game. What are you doing? What are
yeah.
you not like? It's all about me and what I'm doing.
Mm,
If you're not doing what I'm doing, then you're failing. Like, no, we're
right.
all on our own journey,
Yeah. 100%.
that's part of it.
Exactly. And I mean, like you said, like it is a journey and we're all kind of figuring it out as we go along. Nobody has the answers. And I understand people kind of like hopping on trends and stuff, but I feel like the best way to break through really is to like find your own thing and stick with that because that's what's going to
hmm
separate you and make you different. You know what I mean?
The I don't even know what to call him. Let's just call him the Godfather of EDM, Dead Mouse,
Let's go.
because he is the Godfather. He, I remember when I was like on YouTube growing up, he used to have like the
Mm,
masterclass videos,
yep.
and he'd be like, "I'm not a producer. I just draw this shit out. I have no idea what I'm doing." And he would always end it, and this was the quote that stuck out to me the most. Was he would go, "It doesn't matter whether I've impacted a million people or one person. If one person likes your music, it's all worth it."
Right.
And like I will post a song to SoundCloud, and granted, it's not getting millions of views, but I look at the likes and I'm just like, damn, 23 people out there in the world, somewhere across this big blue thing we float through space on, 23 people liked what I did. That's worth it.
That's an
That's
impact
worth
for
it to
sure.
me.
100%. Like an example for me, like we had Spotify Wrapped recently, and I was like the number one whatever for 102 people or something. Like I was their number one played. That's crazy to me. Like I've been doing
Yeah.
music, I've been producing for like 10 years, and for even 100 people to be like, yeah, this is gonna be like the first person or like the person I listen to most is ridiculous. Like to me, I
Yeah.
doesn't
And that's
make
got to
sense.
feel so great.
Yeah, it's really
It's the
cool.
best
It's really
feeling in
cool.
the world.
100%. Um, Kind of on that note, production. So when did you start producing? What kind of made you switch from like just DJing to like, let me also make my music? How did that come about?
So I've always wanted to do production. I got a little, I don't even know what brand it is. I still have it. It's the Arturia Mini Lab.
Yep, I'm
I
familiar.
got that MIDI keyboard. It's like 15, 20 keys on it. I got that at the exact same time that I got my DDJ 400. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make music and I'm going to DJ and it's going to be great, until I went in and I was like, not only do I have no idea how to play piano, I have no idea how to make these sounds. I have no idea how to produce whatsoever. Um, and so I've always wanted to, but I've always sucked at it. So in college, I mainly focused on just doing the DJing side of things. And then it was always a frat show until that Bond show with Name Unknown. And that was when I was like, this is different. Like it feels different. The music's different. Like this is what it's really going to be like. And so I kind of knew early on, like, I need to make my own stuff. Like just playing other people's music is only going to get me so far. And so about senior year, I actually have it. It's the little machine that Fred again uses. There we go. It's this guy,
Oh yeah,
the Machine
Native
Plus,
Instruments. Yep.
Native Instruments. So I got this, and then for me, I'm a very tactile person. I like touching it, feeling it, and so
Mm,
no idea how to use Ableton, but I was sitting here just like making stuff and drawing it and then spinning the knob to move it over. And then after like a week and a half of doing that, I just went, huh, so this is the exact same thing as Ableton.
yep.
All right, let's go back to the laptop, and started just making like little Stutter House and Flutter House remixes. And I probably have like 20 or 30 little Stutter House, clutter auto panned remixes that are
Mm.
just never going to see the light of day because I do bass music and dubstep, not
Yep.
little disco lines type music. Shout out disco lines, love that guy,
Shut up.
but I do not make disco lines music. So like I've told my buddy who makes house, I'm like, you can take these, like just take them and run with them. Honestly, just have them. I'm never gonna post them.
Ghost producer.
Yeah, don't even like unless I mean, Porter Robinson gave up his producing credits on Clarity with
Yep.
Zed, and he regrets that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe throw me on the bottom.
Dude, I
No,
would regret that too. Like, not nothing against Paul Robinson. He's had some hits, but Clarity is like the song.
like the same way that my parents go back and look at like AC/DC and Guns N' Roses and the Eagles. I mean, you can even take it farther back. Look at Elvis. Is the way
Yeah.
our generation is going to look at Clarity. They're going to be
Yeah.
like, "Damn, that was the song forever."
Yep. So you mentioned making bass music. Um,
Hmm.
you get into Ableton, and
Hmm.
what how did you go from making Stutter House to making bass music?
So, funnily enough, ever since I had Ableton, is however long I've had this MIDI keyboard,
Mm,
is also about the same time that I got Serum. So I had all of the tools back in 2020. I just never
mm,
used any of them for 4 years. And so I'm starting to make these little Stutter House remixes, and I'm like, I think it's time to, take it up a notch. I want to start making my music that I want to make.
mm,
And so it was literally YouTube, how to tape B. And I love Tape B because he has that like growler sound that I grew up on with Skrillex. And
yep.
so I wanted that, vowel yoy sound in there. So literally just looking up YouTube videos, trying to, you know, make my serum patch sound the same, but not exactly the same because I got to be different. And I bought a sample pack from Avant Samples, and it was like a bunch of serum presets. And so I just started messing around with those as just like a basis. And so I made probably 3 or 4 songs with that,
Mm,
but because it was all sample based, I was like, I don't feel like this is genuinely me.
yeah.
So like they're good practice, they're good learning tools, but they're not gonna go out anywhere. They're not gonna do anything. So
Yeah.
I made a couple of those and then just kind of started making my own and taking it off from there. And then the Sail song was the first one.
Yeah, I remember that one. So
Yeah.
okay, you went from kind of like taking loops and samples to kind of building things out more and making them more your own style. You
Hmm.
went from like the Stutter House vibe to more of like a tapey, like deep dub, yoy kind of bass vibe.
Hmm.
Um, what did you start with remixes or were you going like straight into like doing originals? Because I think a lot of
So
people, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh no, I think a lot of people go into doing remixes first because they're very accessible. You kind of get like a starting point, you know what I mean? Whether it's like a vocal or whatever it might be, you're able to have something to work with versus having a blank canvas and just starting is a lot more intimidating, especially when you're just starting out.
For sure. Like that was the thing with the Sail remix was it was the
Mm,
dun 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 dun. Like that was my framework.
mhm.
And I knew going into it, I was like, okay, here's the idea. Here's the sound I'm going to use. This is how it's going to sound. But it's as original as it is unoriginal because I wouldn't have thought of that had AWOL Nation not created that bass line 10 years ago.
Right,
So, like, you're right to that point. It is very accessible. The idea is a lot easier to come up with because half of the idea is already there.
right.
But I mean, I've made 4 or 5 remixes now, and I've started making originals, and I got like 2 or 3 in the works. But one of them started as a remix
Yeah,
that I was just like, this is a very chill, very emotional song. Device did the exact opposite of that. And I just, make the song, lift up the vocal, remove it, and now I have my original.
yep.
It's completely different.
Right. I like to give you my example of that. When I was producing House, like years and years and years ago, um, I would some like when I was just starting, I would take like a song that was kind of stripped back, like a say a Lord song, for example,
Hmm.
and I would low cut everything so there's no bass, and then I would like throw like a tech house bass and like drums over it, call it a day. Like that was the remix, but you still have
Yeah,
like it's like the full song, but then you like
yeah.
throw a little sprinkle of like whatever on there, and like people still do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then like you said, if you mute the remix samples or the stems, you've just got like your drum and your bass, which in tech house is pretty much the whole song. But
That's it. That's it. That's the whole song right there.
but like I don't know, it's interesting. Having started production more recently, do you feel a pressure to release and to make originals, or are you cool like developing your sound some more and putting out remixes until you feel like you're at a point where like, okay, there's either demand or like you acquire the skills, to like really start dropping stuff like on Spotify and streaming platforms and stuff? How are you going about that?
So that was actually part of the Instagram wipe,
Mm,
was looking at this and going, if two things. One, if one of these songs suddenly blows up out of nowhere and I am reaching a velo status, I have nothing in the bank.
yeah.
Like tomorrow, I'm going to work because I
Hmm.
need to make like 15 more songs to keep this momentum going long term. Otherwise, it's literally going to go up and then straight back down.
No.
And the problem with that, which leads into point two, is I still don't 100% know what I'm doing sometimes. Like, I'm not an expert in Serum. I'm not an expert on mixing and mastering and all the different racks you have in Ableton. I'm not a master by any means. And so that is just going to make that task even more challenging is, okay, one of these does blow up
Hmm.
and I got to make a lot of songs, and it takes me about a month and a half to get a solid half decent idea. You see where this snowballs into a giant, boulder that is just immovable.
Yep.
So,
I've totally been there. Like I know exactly what you mean. And it's tough. Like that's kind of I don't know. I've been producing for quite a long time, upwards of 10 years now. I want to say half of that time I was releasing stuff, but it was just on SoundCloud and like just throwing stuff out
mhm,
there. And then in the last few years, I got to a point where I was like, I felt good about how my music sounded. And I had never felt that way before. Because before I was like, oh, this is good. Like the idea is there, but it needs like something. And I wasn't really sure what that was. Um,
mhm,
but like, I like one way or another that clicked, and I was like, oh, now we're rolling. So now I'm at the point where like I'm releasing, but I'm 6 months ahead. Like I have releases planned out like half the year.
yeah, that's where I want to be. That's where I'm
Hmm.
trying to get to. And I remember I sent you one like a while back,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yeah, I could get this. I have nothing on the schedule to release until May." And this was like January of last year, and I was like, shit, he's got this like really planned out. Like, is that how I need to be doing it? Like
Well,
back to my point, I was making a song, promoting it, releasing it, continuing to promote it while making the next one. Like 3 months
yeah.
of that, and I was like, I'm out, restart.
Yeah, like my thing, I love making music and I never want to be burnt out on it. And so, because I just before I was doing it as a job, I was doing it just for
Hmm.
fun because it's what I like to do. So I never want to like go to work and be like, they gotta make another song. You know what I mean? Like I never want to feel that way. So a good thing about spacing it out. So for example, say I have a good week and I make like 6 tracks that are all solid. I can
Hmm.
schedule those for release for half the year. I don't have to worry about making another track for a few months. So if for what if I want to take a break, if I don't feel inspired, like I can kind of relax for a little bit, come up with some ideas, and there's no pressure to have to like, oh, I need a song out like in a week or
Yeah.
like it's I don't know. And of course you're still doing like promo and like everything else, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's you gotta again, it comes back to like the sustainability thing. Cause like
Hmm.
you're basically a machine. You're cranking out songs, you're playing these shows. You need to like stay healthy, keep your energy up to be able to like perform still, but then you need like the energy to like lock in the studio and work on music. There's a lot to it, you know?
Yeah, and see, that was the one thing I did like about Tampa.
Mm.
And granted, this was all my Stutter House remixes, but it was I was doing cold calls all day long.
Oh,
And so I got home, the last thing I wanted to do was talk. And so I would just come home and just sit and just lock in. And I wouldn't say a word for like 4 hours until it was, midnight and I'm ready to go to bed.
yeah.
But like I would just lock in. And it was easy.
Yeah. That's I had this conversation the other day, but like for me, going to the gym, getting out of the studio, like going for a
Hmm.
walk, changing scenery, anything like that helps me reset. So like when I come back to the laptop, I'm like locked in. But sometimes you're just sitting in the same room for so long, like you're working away at something and it's not really clicking. It can, I don't know, it can be demotivating. But like sometimes just refreshing, doing something else and coming back to it helps so much.
Oh, for sure. Because like we just got our office in person again for this
Nice.
new job that I'm working at. And originally we were all remote work. And so I'd wake up, I'm downstairs, I'd sit at my laptop doing work on the same thing that I make music on, which is just tempting as hell to not just like be like, screw this, I'm gonna go work on Ableton for a little bit. But also when it would hit 5 o'clock, it was like an immediate changeover. I'm just closing and clicking open, and I'm still at the same desk, looking at the same screens in the same room, doing all of it over again. And it'd be like 7 or 8 o'clock, and I'm just like, I really just don't want to do this right now. Like I
Yeah.
need to do something. I start getting antsy. I'm like,
Hmm.
I need to go.
There's
And that's
only
not how it
so
should be.
much. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much energy that you can like give out in a day. And like for me, one thing I did, I got a standing desk and a walking pad, and
That's nice.
that was a game changer because I just sit my laptop up there, and even like you're not doing anything crazy, but being standing and being able to move a little bit instead of just
Oh
like
yeah,
seated makes a big difference. Like it's crazy.
for
I've heard
sure.
about people doing it. I didn't know it was gonna be like that much of a difference, but it is for sure.
So when I did my cold calls in Tampa, I'd get kind of angry about it. And I'm like, it was a very Wolf of Wall Street mentality there. And so I would like raise my desk and I would get my little treadmill and I'd sit it down. And I used to listen to Odd Mob all the time at work.
Nice.
And so just at like 128, like just like listening to Odd Mob, taking my steps, like dialing and just going crazy on the phones, and I'm like walking and talking at the same time. Like that was the only way to get exercise. I loved it.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And like that's the thing too. I found myself just seated at my desk for so long. I was like, dude, I'm
Yeah.
averaging like 0 steps a day. This is bad. So
Yeah, it's
I had to
actually
do
terrible.
something.
Well,
I
that's
had to
what
do
my
something.
new job joked with me. We had our wellness and health like competition throughout all of
Mm,
October. And I'm the youngest person on my team by like a good 20, 30 years. And so they're like, oh, Cam's about to blow us out of the water. And I'm looking and like, the person who's 50, 60 years old, they're doing laps around their kitchen. And I'm like, guys, I finished work and I make music. Like you're getting 200 steps max, and that was to go upstairs, get food, and come back downstairs. Like
yeah.
that's the extent of my energy I got right now.
I used to joke that like the DJ sets were my cardio because like it's
Yes,
you're jumping
yes,
around for those. But like besides that, I'm just sitting at a desk, bro. Like
literally, yeah, literally. Hey, I'll tell you
so
though, that Charleston Hidden City was a good workout because I was dripping sweat,
yeah, dude, there you go.
sweat all my weight off, sweat all the
Yes,
calories
sir.
out.
Yes, sir. No, from what I've seen, like you are super energetic in your sets. Like you go crazy. It's so much fun. And I feel like that gives the crowd energy too. When they see somebody like really getting into what they're playing, the
Oh, yeah.
crowd feeds on that, you know?
I actually in college with like all the frats and stuff, that was a big thing. Was I felt like in order to get away with, playing the certain music that I wanted to play, I had to get people hype. And it was funny because like I'm playing Mo Bamba. Everybody loves Mo Bamba. So like
Yep.
being a wizard and going, let's go to Mo Bamba was so easy in front of, a bunch of sorority and fraternity people.
Yeah.
And so coming out of that, when I started doing these immature shows where it was, my brand and my theme, my music, doing bass
Mm.
music, dubstep, I actually kind of like went backwards for a little bit. And like my charisma on stage kind of came inward, and I was just kind of not as extroverted on stage as I used to be. And I think it was like a little humbling period of like, this isn't the frat. I can't just whip out Mo Bamba and make everybody go
Mm.
crazy. I can't pull out, Hotel Room Service by Pitbull. I can't pull out ABBA.
Banger.
Like
Yeah.
all my bangers are like gone now. Like there's no magic song I can play in this moment to make everybody go crazy. I
Mm.
need to build that. That's why I'm here. And so like over the last year and a half of doing the immature dubstep shows, I've had to kind of reinvent that part of myself again and be like, you need to be extroverted and confident and go crazy on stage.
What
But
do
I
you
don't drink
think?
before sets, so that's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. No, for sure. I believe me, I get it. I've used to drink during sets. I'd have like a couple drinks. I stopped doing that when I started like DJing like every weekend because I'm like, dude, this is not good. I can't do this every night. Like, and then
Yeah.
you don't recover and it's not good. So I just cut it out completely. And that was kind of, we can use alcohol as a crutch, I feel like.
Hmm.
And adjusting from that wasn't too hard because I didn't drink that much anyway, but I could see how like some people like if they're really into like, oh, I gotta be drunk to DJ or whatever, like I gotta be feeling good.
It's not it.
Yeah, I can see how it would be hard though, you know what I mean?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll have a drink or two
Mm,
on stage while I'm DJing, but like it's not until I'm like 20, 30 minutes deep into my set. And I
yeah.
know some guys, some good friends of mine who are not going to name names. They're a little up there, and so I don't want to embarrass them, but they throw up before every set because they just
Mm,
get that nervous. And so like
yeah.
I've gone up like at Trio, I was walking up on stage and I'm looking around, everything's fine, and I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I got about 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. Okay, I just need to sit down for a sec. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. But I'm like, if I was drinking, it would have come back up. So I'm like,
100%.
once I get settled in my set, pass me my little vodka ginger. Until that happens, I'm not touching anything. I'm not doing anything. I am focused.
100%. What do you think brought out that being introverted when you started the immature shows instead of just doing more like frat stuff?
I think because I was just nervous because like I
Mm.
said, whenever I was doing these frat shows, I could pull out a banger, just
Hmm.
draw a name out of the hat. Here's a song. Like I had a folder on my laptop. I don't even remember the name. Um, actually, I do remember the name. It was a little inappropriate, but it was called the cum because it was
Nice.
sticky. It was like because some people had their names called like the glue, like
Yeah.
stuff that holds the party together. So I was like, I'm gonna be the cum. There's an immature factoid for you. Um, but I had that, and so it was all of like Katy Perry, ABBA, Pitbull, Drake, all like the
Hmm.
classic bangers of like I'm failing right now. I need something to get me out of drowning. Here's a song. And when I started doing these immature shows, that just wasn't there as often. And so I was like getting nervous, not really feeling as comfortable. And then that's when I really adopted that mentality that I was talking about, like all the way at the beginning of this call about doing every set like it's the last one you'll ever get to do.
Yeah.
And started looking at my performances and like people would take videos and I'd look at it and I'm just like, I'm not very excited. I don't look
Mm.
happy to be there. This is an honor for me to be
Yeah.
there. I need to make it look like it. And so I started out by wearing glasses because I didn't like making eye contact with people. Like
Yeah.
it was a thing. I can't wear a marshmallow helmet. I'm not marshmallow. So I'll just wear glasses. You can't see my eyes, I can't see yours. T-Rex
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah.
So I would just do that. And then slowly over time, I just lost the glasses at a show one time, had to go to the next one without them and just went, screw it. I'm here and I'm happy to
Yeah,
be here. And now that's part of the Immature brand is that carefree, go stupid, just be yourself act that I want everybody in my crowds to do.
I love that, man. That's so cool. I think that's a great message too. Like, just don't take it so seriously. We're here to have fun. You know what I mean? You're playing music to people. It is an honor. Like, it's, I don't know. I think we can get in our heads about it sometime, but like at the end of the day, we're just playing music. We're just having a good time.
Yeah. It's like Grizz, he closed out Seven Stars by saying, like, ever since I started doing this project, I've always wanted to have my own music festival. And this is not
Mm,
mine for the taking. You bought tickets, you stream my music, you have given this to me. Thank you for all you have done for me. Like, that's the mentality you have to take for this. Is it's not something we're doing. It's more we're creating something for others and they're giving back to us through their support.
100%. Really quick, just because you mentioned Mobamba and this has been in my brain, when I play USC in Columbia, I have this Mobamba Sandstorm edit that I made.
Oh
That's
my
like it's a
gosh.
trap remix of Sandstorm with the Mobamba vocals over it. It goes as crazy as you would imagine it goes.
Yes.
But like
Yes.
that's that's one thing that I because I was playing so often and like a lot of the same places and I wanted to keep it fresh and I like didn't like playing the same songs over and over. I started making a lot of my own edits. So I've got like almost a
Yeah.
hundred now of just like edits that nobody else has that I've just thrown together. Whether it's like drop switches or like a vocal on top of something, just like whatever it is to keep it fresh. That's been a lot of fun for me. Like just switching it up and playing something that like people haven't heard or like maybe they didn't
Yeah.
think of like this song going with this song, you know?
So that was a thing that like my frat used to get on me a lot was doing that kind of thing and then changing it. They're like,
Yeah.
"No, why did you get rid of the vocals? That was the whole point of this song. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I thought you guys would like a switch up." No, we like the same basic ass vanilla top 40 song that was released 10 years ago. We want that exact radio edit being played. I'm like, "Hey, you guys got the wrong guy for that."
Yeah. At least they're honest, you know? Like
They're
they know
honest.
what they like.
I used to walk into chapter every Sunday, man, and it would just we would go head to head with each other, just like you need to play this, and I'm like, well, people are coming to events because I do this. Like,
Yeah.
this is a give and take. And I try it. Like, there was a little point in time towards senior year where I started letting it go to my head because I was like,
Mm.
no, like I'm the DJ. I DJ our events. I'm the one that books these places. Like,
Hmm.
I am the reason for our success because the people say they love coming to our events. I am our events.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but then I, had to get myself off the pedestal and go, dude, you're a fucking frat DJ. Like, you are nothing. Like, you
Well,
need to chill.
again, at the same point we made earlier, like you're cultivating the vibe, but like our job as DJs is there for everybody else to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's walking that line of like doing what you want to play versus like also reading the crowd and making sure that like they're happy. It's a two-way street, you know? And it's
And that's why I couldn't play dubstep anymore.
well,
That was
that's it,
actually the
like
one rule was no dubstep.
really. So okay,
Yeah, they said you can play anything but no dubstep. And
yeah,
then like someone knocked two, like Getting Hot by Knock Two,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that got labeled in as dubstep. And then
Nice.
Dash Star got labeled in as dubstep. So I was like, all right, you guys are stretching it here.
Yeah.
These are my
So
weapons.
when I first started, it was actually a lot of open format, like similar thing you probably went through, like the
Yeah.
frat stuff, like playing all kinds of like whatever hotel room service or whatever it is. And then I slowly mixed in like house remixes of those songs, and they were like, "Wait, this
Hmm.
is cool." And then just progressively like went harder and harder, and now people are requesting dubstep and they're requesting like all these crazy things. So it's kind of
Yes.
come full circle.
See, that's what I saw like in college because I was looking at all these big frats, like Fiji and Kaisai, and
Hmm.
they're all playing Zed's Dead, and they're all playing Big Booty Mix, which is granted it's Big Booty Mix, but it's still EDM.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my frat, and they're like, "No, we want to listen to country." I'm like, you guys are in the wrong spot for that. Like, go to the other lot that plays
Yeah,
country music.
yeah,
Don't come here. Like, you see what all they're playing? Yeah, this is what we need to do.
yeah,
And I was like trying to lead that initiative from them, and it just was like, two butting heads. And so I've DJ'd for the other frats. It's gone
yeah.
incredible. My frat just, they weren't the fans of it. They just didn't like it.
It's tough. And even, I've had some like club owners be like, "Hey, so just so you know, no EDM tonight." And
Hmm.
I'll play my normal set, and then the manager's like, "That's great." And then some like the assistant will come by and he'll be like, "Hey, by the way, like what he means by no EDM is like it just has to have words. It can be whatever you want. It just has to have
I
words in
think
it."
I know exactly what bar you're talking about
Probably,
because
probably.
I had that request happen to me, and
Yeah.
I was playing with Name Unknown. It wasn't like an open and close thing. We were just all of us up there just having fun.
Hmm.
And I looked over at Joe and I was like, "No EDM. You got a laptop or like can I like rip off SoundCloud or something? Because like
Yeah.
I got a USB with 3,000 songs on here. There is not a single vanilla song, as I call it,
Yeah.
no non-remix. There's not a
Yeah.
single vanilla song on this USB of 3,000.
Yeah.
I'm screwed." And he's like, "Don't worry, I got my laptop." And we had
It
to rip off the laptop the whole time. It was hilarious.
it's exactly the place you think it is because Joe texted me
Hmm.
that night. He was like, "Bro, they just told us no
I saw you
EDM."
that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you that night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I saw
like,
you walking in.
yep, their Wi-Fi is terrible too. So I can't imagine having to like stream off a laptop or like download songs on the fly. Like it would be really hard there just on the spot. But
He
it is
had
what it
uh,
is.
he had his MacBook with his like record box open
Mm,
in control mode going on channel 3, but the problem was that channels 1 and 2 in the middle, or sorry, it's the A9, so technically channels 2 and 3 in the middle. When you would turn the bass down on 2, 3 would still be up, but it would also cut the bass on 3. And
right.
so we have those two going on the CDJs. The laptop is running through channel 1, technically, one,
Mm,
two, three, 4. And so we had to then unplug everything, reroute it to go to like 1 and 4, figure out what the problem was with 2 and 3, plug the laptop into that. It was a whole chaotic mess of like what is happening right now. And meanwhile, the whole time we just got Justin Bieber playing in the background, screaming "baby."
nobody knew it was happening.
Nobody knew what was happening.
At
Nobody, because
least
he like queued up 4 songs and just let them auto play while we were just like frantically unplugging and plugging in every cable we possibly could.
everybody's drunk. They're not aware. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean? Like
oh
they
yeah.
just want to hear whatever. But
It
at
was
least you weren't.
Halloween.
Yeah.
They wanted to just be there.
At least you weren't also running a multicam and having to deal with that and recording the set and
Literally, thank God this wasn't a place that we cared about doing a multicam. This was just for the check.
yeah, no, for sure.
Just pay me my money.
Yeah. So on that note, what's next? What do you have coming up? What's on the calendar?
So Ferva is not officially announced. It's just the big flyer that says Ferva on it. But I am playing that on February 7th. Um, and then there's a couple shows that I might be doing again in February and leading into March. Um, and I'll say no comment towards Hidden City for right now. We'll see
Nice.
what happens there. So
I like the sound of that.
yeah, we'll see what
um,
happens there.
and then music, remixes, originals.
That's the gathering, as I'll call it, of just I need to build my catalog, kind of like you said, and start
Yep.
planning things out months in advance. Um, I realize that it's not as big of like I need the turnover
Mm,
as much as I need quality stuff. And so that's what I'm where I'm at right now is I'm kind of taking a break from the release schedule and just working on building that catalog. And once I get to maybe 25, 30 in the bank,
mm.
that's when I'll say, okay, let's start getting some content, push that out and just go as it goes.
I also think you're at a great spot to do that because there is no pressure right now. So like you might
Yeah.
as well build it up in the background while you can just sort of chill because then once you get it started, you kind of induce that pressure if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I was saying with the the rise of a velo,
Hmm.
if I suddenly get a velo status, I have nothing to keep me going. Like I
Yeah,
have to have something to sustain me because once the ball's rolling, it can't stop. If it stops, that's when you see people start falling off.
right.
So,
Right. Or like they
yeah.
completely switch trajectory onto something else. I've seen that too. Like they'll start with
Oh yeah.
music and then they'll just like switch up, either like changing styles, changing their brand, or just doing a completely different like creative thing, which is wild
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I like the Immature project.
Mhm.
And I've said this to people before. In no way, shape, or form do I believe this to be my final project. Like, if this doesn't work out in 10 years, maybe there's another project that I'm going to initiate.
Yeah.
Um, people have, Marshmallow was, what was it, .com
Yep.
before Marshmallow, and out of nowhere, Marshmallow became the biggest thing ever. So I mean,
Hmm.
you never really know what your final form is going to be. But I've always said that in 20 years, when I pull a Skrillex and stop making my wicked dubstep and start doing tech house, that I will just become mature,
Nice. Nice.
and
I
I
respect
will
it.
finally matured after 20 years of doing this shit. I will finally have matured.
Well, dude, at the end of the day, like, I mean, regardless of the project, like, you're you, and we're just doing what inspires us. You know what I mean? And, like, as long as we're bringing good energy, putting stuff out there, that's what I think is important, having fun with what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've seen that through you. Through, like you said, you were doing the house stuff and now you're doing like
Mm,
all the techno. And I can see that. I can feel that in the music that you're making, that that is something that's truly you. And
yeah.
I've seen like the little dubstep mixes you've been sending me. I'm liking them. I'm liking them. And I can
Sneaking
feel
it in
that
there.
too. It's like it's the evolution of like what makes you passionate to
Yeah.
wake up every morning and say, this is what I want to do. And I can feel that through your music. And it takes time to get there.
Right. I'm just kind of chasing what's inspiring me at the moment. Like, who knows? Maybe I will go back to house later on, but like right now, I'm just going for what I'm enjoying playing. What brings energy out in me and in like the crowd, and just I don't know, whatever I feel good about, inspired to do, that's kind of what I wake up and choose to do. It might be techno this day, it might be a dubstep drop this day, like who knows? But just like enjoying it, having a good time, taking it day by day and seeing where it goes.
And that's all you can do at the end of it.
Yes, sir. I think that's a great point to wrap it up. We've done like an hour and a half. This was a great
Yeah.
conversation. Um, we got to do this more often, man. Like the reason I started doing these kind of video calls is really to yes, to give people a platform and like get stuff out there and like learn more about what people are doing, but also to catch up with friends. You know what I mean? And like you're a
For
great
sure.
example of that because like we see each other at a show or whatever, like breakaway, and we'll talk for a few minutes, but like it's not really the place
Poof.
to like, yeah, literally, like there's
Yeah.
so much going on. You can like do a quick catch up, but like these in-depth conversations are a lot of fun, especially when like we're in the age of like scrolling on a 15-second reel and like going to the next
Yeah.
video. Having something more like long form where you can lock in is really cool, I think. um
Oh
so I
yeah.
really
And I feel
appreciate
like
your time.
we're moving back towards that
Yeah.
nowadays. Like I know that there's a big push on YouTube specifically that like creators are starting to do their, 10 to 15-minute long format videos again. And it's because of like the whole monetization with everything. They're like, we're not paying you for 10 seconds a clip. We'll pay
Right.
you for, a 10-minute video. And it's like, okay, well, great. That's what I wanted to do. All
Yeah.
right. So I'll do that. So I'm really happy to see this push come back for everything. It's 2016 again.
Let's go. Well, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Where can people find you? Where can they see your stuff?
You can follow me on all my socials at Immature Music. SoundCloud is also Immature Music, and yeah, I think everything is Immature Music now. I had to get that straightened out, but
Let's
yeah, I think
go.
everything is Immature Music. If
That's
not,
awesome,
you'll
man.
see a little video of me that I'm going to send you in 5 minutes that says I lied. It's actually something different.
Also, this.
Also, this, put it on screen. Click the link in bio.
Cam, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. We'll catch up again soon, and I will see you at the Furba show for sure. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Rafi. It was a pleasure being here. We'll catch up again soon.
Yes, sir.